I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
This is what $0 an hour looks like. So, here we go.
It's a pretty big honor for a simple guy from the prairies to stand before you today.
Robot minds of robot slaves, lead them to atomic rays. Plastic flowers, melting sun, fading moon falls apart, dying world of radiation, victims of man frustration, burning globe of obscene fire, like electric funeral fire.
You wanna fight? Better believe you've got one! You wanna enslave my spirit? No! And I'll call on God to protect me and use me however God sees fit. And if I've destroyed my whole family with it, I don't blame God! I blame the stinking trash! Who will pay? The devil's greatest trick was not convincing the world he didn't exist. That's a big trick, but it's not number one. Number one is trying to convince you that there's no God, which means there's no good in the world, and there is. And courage, and freedom, and innovation. And trailblazing, exploration, the maverick spirit of discovery. I don't believe in it. I know it. God isn't number one to me. God is everything. Number one's too small.
But it is a fact that shitposting and public opinion are now intermingled permanently, and it's not going anywhere. And that's just the way it is.
And so in the sky shines the electric eye, supernatural king takes earth under his wing, heaven's golden chorus sings, hell's angels flap their wings, evil souls fall to hell, ever trapped in burning cell.
I get all my news from memes, basically. That's how I get my news. Is that how you get your news? How would you even get the news if you weren't looking at memes? You watch a show? That's even more fucking retarded.
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
We're back. We're live. I was listening to the...
We're back. We're live. Come on, Dylan. Let's have a little bit more fucking energy here.
I was listening to Jones on the way here, on the way to Sam's house, and I only got to listen to the first 15 minutes or so, and he was just taking a victory lap for the first 10 minutes, just being like, all right, we're doing it. Trump's getting in 3 days. Everything's chill. Everything's fine.
The Democratic pedophiles are on the run. End quote.
The globalists have been defeated, but, and then he said he's actually more nervous than ever.
But it also might just be a clone of Alex Jones. We're not sure yet.
He looked incredibly handsome in it. I did notice that. I haven't listened to any new Jones. I've only seen clips of it, and this is the first time I've just listened to him for 15 minutes, and he looked handsome. He looked jacked. He looked fucking... His beard was perfectly trimmed.
He's not drinking anymore. Him and Sean Ryan are working out. It's not Clone Jones.
This is big. This is a game changer. If
Dylan wants the Democratic pedophiles to be on the run.
I mean, who doesn't at this point? If you're listening to this podcast, if you found this podcast somehow, you know that there's Democratic pedophiles. That's a given at this point.
I think it's about time we put them on the run.
They deserve what is coming to them. Something I found about Democratic...
This is a comedy podcast, by the way.
Something I found about Democratic pedophiles that were involved in a pizzeria scandal.
Whoa!
In that time.
Whoa!
You remember Maria Abramovich, that crazy sorcerer lady that was involved with Podesta and...
the spirit cooking
Yes,
woman?
that lady...
We can't even speak about this on YouTube because of how foul it is.
She got hired by Microsoft to do a presentation about AI, about Microsoft's AI, and gave a presentation in front of a bunch of people, and it was horribly received, obviously. But it just is so weird that a company that big would even take a risk like that, just hiring her for... It's obvious that these big corporations are involved in some fucking crazy shit.
They're opening the gates of hell.
That lady was involved with John Podesta. There's emails that come out about it, and the entire pizzeria scandal comes out. Verifiable emails, and then they coined the term fake news during that time. That fake news was never happened until the pizza stuff happened. And then that just becomes an actual term now that they can just throw, like conspiracy theorists, they can just throw it at fucking anything and it'll just stick. Like,
Dylan's pissed. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
I'm tired of the fake news. I'm 2016 Trump right now. I'm tired of the fake news.
He's getting right into the Italy food gate talk.
Yeah, I don't like John Podesta. I'll just say that much. He has a weird taste in art.
A known pedophile. Still a powerful man.
Leader, if you don't know who John Podesta is, he was the leader of Hillary Clinton's campaign during the 2016 campaign. And how is Hillary Clinton not in jail? It's just so obvious that we've talked so much about Hillary, but she should be in prison. Obviously, she's done so much crazy shit, and she is above the law. Oh my God, 2 days ago, I just saw Bill Clinton, a picture of Bill Clinton getting a massage from a 15-year-old. Same 15-year-old, looked exactly the same. He was on a date with her, captured by what looked like a paparazzi, taking a picture of a famous person. This same 15-year-old just sitting alone at a restaurant with this girl, and who was also giving him a massage. And it looked shady where he was getting the massage at from her. She was rubbing his shoulders, and it just looked like an underground bunker.
Obviously, you don't know what foreign relations looks like, Dylan. He's building strength with other countries.
Or he's losing all control to other countries because he got blackmailed by Mossad.
What was she yellow? Is he a Hunter Biden? No yellow?
It was a blonde woman.
Okay.
A blonde, maximum 15 years old, I would say.
By no yellow, I assume Hunter Biden means Asian women?
Definitely. Hunter Biden does not give a fuck at all about what anyone thinks about him at this point. I don't know.
His texts are the fucking... That's comedy gold. Nothing will get funnier than Hunter Biden's text.
And then Joe pardoning him and not giving a fuck what anyone thinks at all.
I'm not gonna pardon him. I'm not gonna pardon him, dude.
Why even lie? Like, I don't even think he was asked about it. I think he just came out of nowhere and was just like, "Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna pardon him. Like, I'm not gonna pardon him, guys." Just who was even asking if he was going to pardon him? And then he does end up pardoning him at the end.
There's no case here. The Republicans they've stirred up a media firestorm. There's nothing behind Hunter Biden. Don't worry about it.
And
don't worry about him kicking up half of his money to the big man.
I heard Joe Biden, this is back in the 90s, I heard a speech very recently where he was talking about how one day in our lifetimes everyone's going to be microchipped and we're going to use microchips to pay for transactions. This is Joe Biden in like the 90s saying this, and just I'd never heard that audio before, and that blew my mind.
It's what we're talking about. It's the depopulation. It's them trying to own you. It's the 15-minute cities. It's the land grabs. It's the pesticides. It's the poisoning your water. It's them killing you slowly with everything, with EMFs, with 5G.
The depopulation conspiracy runs so well with the New World Order because it is the same thing. The New World Order does have a depopulation agenda. They do not want the population of this earth to increase. They actually want it to decrease. They don't want it to stabilize. They want to kill millions, if not billions of people to satisfy their desires.
Or at the very least, subjugate you. At the very least.
They're doing it for control. They're doing it to gain resources because once they get to the top, it's not about, they have all the money. It's not about money anymore at this point. It's about gaining more and more power and taking more and more resources away from the masses and keeping a slave population, giving them the bare minimum and then taking away even that.
You'll own nothing, and you will be happy. As a wise man once said.
What also makes sense in that conspiracy is that they obviously want the cryptocurrency to happen just so they can have it as ones and zeros on a screen. They don't want to have to print bills, and they don't want to have these bills in circulation. If everyone has a microchip that pays for all their transactions, they all have a one world cryptocurrency that everyone's using, like Bitcoin, guys. I don't know if you guys are suspicious about Bitcoin at all, but it kind of seems like that could be the one world cryptocurrency that they need.
The Japanese dude that made it, Hashiro Hamasaki, that's not actually his name. It's just the most stereotypical Japanese name you can think of. They whip up for this guy. Nope. He's totally anonymous. You'll never know about him.
And it's just, whenever people claim to have known him or claim to have met him, it's so obvious that it's just grifters online trying to make a quick buck. They're just making up bullshit, but it's...
I'm the guy that invented Bitcoin.
It seems more likely that it's a CIA operation, that they're just... If the gains are going up this much for a cryptocurrency that doesn't actually have any value, it has some value, you could argue, but the percentage that it's went up in just the past 15 years is absolutely outrageous. Nothing else can compete with it at all. It makes no sense. It's impossible, and that's only possible with the backing of a New World Order, a deep state.
And a one world currency, that's one step closer to a one world government. That's exactly what they want. Klaus Schwab wants you to own nothing and be happy. They want everybody to be all hunky-dory in 15-minute cities. Nobody needs to live out. Why do you want to live away from everybody else? What are you talking about? Why do you not want to live in your cities? Why do you not want to get poisoned by the infrastructure? Why do you not want to work for nothing? I don't understand it, Don. Why do you not want to?
Why wouldn't you want to live in our giant radiation centers where we're just all cooking with 5G? We're all growing mad. Homelessness is just going outrageous, and we're having to board up retail in the main.
Your cancer rates are skyrocketing. Your autism rates are skyrocketing.
We're having to board up main retail in all our downtown cities. Literally in cities all over the country, we're having to board up our downtown city blocks. But guys, it's all fine. Cities are okay. Everything's great.
Good luck owning a small business in a city if you're not getting everything taken from you. If you're a corner store, what the fuck are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit behind your counter with a shotgun all day aiming it at everybody that walks through the door. I mean, for fuck's sakes, if you own a bodega in New York, you're getting something taken from you every day. You have to. You have to.
We're getting stolen, our money stolen every day by the government, and then we're getting our fucking we're working hard at our business and getting it stolen by the poors. There's so much crime going on because the wage gap between the wealthy and the poor has gotten so outrageous, and it's only going to go up. Crime is only increasing from here.
It's also mental illness.
And shit's been going kind of all right before. This is also kind of what Jones was saying. He was saying that he was worried about the mental illness in this country whenever that everyone, if there is actually a great awakening with this inauguration of Trump, and people do realize that there was an election fraud, straight up, an election stealing by the wannabe one world government. Whenever people realize that this was going on and they fell for this trap, there's going to be even more mental health challenges by all these people, by all these citizens.
Just look at Philadelphia. Look how wiped out the place is by drugs. You see zombies on every fucking street corner. What is going on in America?
And they just blame fentanyl, just say it's coming from China whenever it clearly could have just been a CIA cooked up operation.
Whoa.
We know that the CIA has been experimenting with drugs in the past. We've seen so much shit involved with MK Ultra. You think they really just stopped trying to make new drugs, stopped trying to get the masses addicted to something, and then you create something, and whenever you find out that it can easily be made, and
it makes you incredibly addicted and kills you, and it's easily made. I mean,
and you only need a very small amount. Yeah, you can kind of just supply that to the entire country, to the entire world, and make a giant profit, just like they did with the cocaine coming back from Colombia and Nicaragua and all these countries coming back into the U.S.
I think China's definitely pumping some out. I think you're assuming that the U.S. government it's over making deals with China. It's not. Who knows how many people in our government have been corrupted by China? They got their fingernails and everything.
I've seen Joe Biden working with China so clearly. It's so obvious that China is not as much.
Winnie the Pooh is clever. He's a clever fucking guy.
He has quite a bit of power, some say.
Some might say absolute. I don't know. He doesn't seem like much of a president to me. I don't know.
We saw videos coming from them in lockdowns. We saw how crazy lockdowns was. That's just 10 years ahead from what we're going to be experiencing in the United States. Like,
dude, fuck the lockdowns. You can find videos of the Uyghur Muslims being led onto fucking trains to concentration camps.
You can see
the surgeons in the U.S. are so surprised on how fresh the skin and the organs are from China. It's almost like they're getting dissected on the plane, how fresh. Like, how is this even being done? We're not even going to talk about that. We're not going to get into it.
You can see thousands in one picture of these people in one area.
They're getting led onto fucking a freight train, for Christ's sake.
And we're not going to talk about how Apple made all their millions, billions, trillions of dollars off of child slave labor coming from China to make their iPhones. We're not going to talk about that either.
Dude, the cobalt mines are fair. And Dylan, do you think these people would have jobs any other way? They have to be in the cobalt mines.
Yeah, you're actually depriving them by not allowing them to work in these terrible mine conditions.
These children need to mine for lithium. What is wrong with you?
We need iPhones, and these children need jobs. I don't get what you don't understand about this. It is a fair trade.
I cannot believe that you're against growing the job market.
All that matters, I don't know if you guys heard this, but all that matters is that we grow our GDP. If we don't grow our GDP as a country, if we don't grow our GDP in all countries around the world, nothing matters. That is all that matters, that we continue to make more and more money. That's all we need.
Dylan's a big gross domestic product guy.
I'm way getting more into silver. I'm getting more into silver, getting more into gold. I'm about to start stacking heavily.
He's a precious metals man.
I mean, just the comparison of the
He
price.
goes from GDP to precious metals. You're fucking John D. Rockefeller out here.
The comparison between gold and silver, what that has done in the past 20 years compared to what Bitcoin has done, is outrageous. And
The Bitcoin bros are laughing at you right now.
you could say
Bitcoin bros are laughing at you right now.
you could say I'm an idiot for thinking that, but it's going to have to correct back to the mean. Everything always corrects back to the mean. It's not going to go down to zero, I don't believe. I think Bitcoin's here to stay, but it's not going to. It's going to.
Whenever the Anunnaki come back and they need the gold again, Dylan is going to be ready. You're going to be ready for our alien overlords.
I know that gold and silver are heavily manipulated in price, and I know that they put out stories. It's clear that they put out fucking crazy ass stories saying like there's a meteor heading towards Earth that we can mine one day that has trillions and fucking so much money worth of gold on it and silver and all these precious metals on it. Oh, we're 20 years away from being able to mine asteroids for precious metals. The reason they have to come up with crazy ass stories like that is because that they're manipulating the price and suppressing the price of gold and of silver. Gold is actually going crazy right now, and I wish I had more of it.
You and the precious metal talk you always give me a chuckle.
I'm big into. I bought a.
You and that silver crash a couple of years ago. I've never seen a man so 100% dead set on a Reddit subreddit.
I thought it was going to 100 for sure. I thought it would easily be at 100 by now. I'm actually still surprised that it's not at 100, but I haven't checked the price of it in like 6 months because I've just given up on that side of it completely. I'm just going to the pawn shop. I trust these guys enough at this point, and I just buy whatever the fuck they tell me.
They know your name around there.
I bought my first graded piece the other day, and I kind of creamed whenever I actually held it in my hand. My first like graded from a.
Just a little bit.
you know what I mean by graded?
Yeah, I know what you mean. You showed me it. Don't worry.
I did show you it?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't even remember that. But anyway, where the fuck were we?
I tell you, there's a reason why I'm calling you John D. Rockefeller. You're out here stacking.
Was that Rockefeller that? No, it was the Hunt brothers that they manipulated the silver price in the 80s and they didn't manipulate it. I say that's a free market. I say I'm a big free market guy. I think these guys should hoard as much
laissez-faire and
I think they should hoard as much wealth as they want. I see nothing wrong with Elon Musk being worth $400 billion. I'm sure that he needs that. He needs that money. He earned it.
He needs it. You took the words right out of my mouth.
He's getting smashed online. He has gone crazy on Twitter, and
I don't know why he has to lie about being good at video games. That's kind of a weird flex.
It's weird. It's a weird hill to die on. He's had so much fanboys, and this is
a weird flex.
This has actually turned the tides. He is going to lose so much respect over this. He's actually losing a massive amount of fans over this, and people are looking at him as a lot crazier because of it.
I didn't have a problem with him looking like a goofball, but lying about being the the number one Path of Exiles player or whatever, or Diablo player or whatever the fuck.
It was Path of Exiles.
Okay.
And
anyway,
they make such a clear video saying that he hired people to play on his account. It's just so obvious, and then it's probably
a fucking Android player.
It's such a crazy hill to die on. We would have been okay with you just admitting, yeah, I'm rich as fuck. I hired people. I don't care. I just wanted to have these cool stories at the end to do. And then we would always be like, that's kind of gay, but it's cool. You're good.
Yeah, that's something to talk about, I guess. Nice.
It's kind of embarrassing, but it's all right. I mean, the end of that game is probably pretty cool. I understand, but this guy he's losing it. He's actually losing. He's actively losing it. But whenever he bought Twitter for only $44 billion, I say only $44 billion, but his net worth at the time was only $100 million or so, and he's gained, with paying all that money, he didn't have to actually put out that much. He got a lot of it on credit. But putting up all that putting all that much money up for Twitter, he's quadrupled his money in just that short amount of time since he bought Twitter. He was only $100 million, $120 million, and with paying all that money, He's at 400 billion right now, and it's only going to get worse from here. We're only in 2025, people. Elon Musk has a long time left to live.
Never forget that Elon Musk made a lot of money off of government subsidies from the electric vehicles.
So much money.
He's been part of this shit from the very beginning.
He's made so much money off of our tax dollars. So much of his wealth is because of our tax dollars, and nobody comprehends that at all.
But, again, Dylan, he deserves all of it. Just like Gates. It's okay that he's turning African children's knees backwards with the, I'm not going to say the word, that he's distributing over there. I'm not going to talk about how he's going to try to block out the sun to decrease global warming. These people are absolutely insane.
It makes sense for Bill Gates to be insane because Bill Gates Sr., his dad, was the leader of Planned Parenthood. He is one of the biggest people in our history in depopulation. He's one of the main players in this. It makes sense for Bill Gates to be a depopulation guy, to admit in a TED Talk that if he does a really good job with the V word, then he's going to decrease the population, is what he said. Like he says if we do a good job, we will decrease the population with vaccines.
Trying to get rid of the undesirables.
The leader of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, the creator of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, she was racist. She wanted to exterminate the black population, and this is direct quotes from her. The reason that Planned Parenthood was created was to kill unborn black babies. That was the whole reason this was created. This is the hidden agenda behind Bill Gates being behind that.
Well, they've succeeded.
They've killed so many unborn black babies. It's actually I'm pretty sure in New York State, like 25% of unborn babies get killed, and it's so obvious just looking at life that it happens at conception. You can't really argue that you should be able to kill an unborn baby at any time for your own actions. You say you're picking your career. You need to have a career over this child's life. This child did absolutely nothing to be created, and it's your actions that created it, but you're going to choose yourself over that child's life.
Who are you to decide should it live or die? How do you know it's not going to be the next Albert Einstein, even if you do raise it in a poor household? How do you know it's not going to be Stephen Hawking? Almost forgot his name before you.
Hopefully not Stephen Hawking. I would not.
He was clever. Maybe.
Even if he was that smart, which I don't even know if he was that smart.
Not 100% sure.
But if he was that smart, that is not a fair trade-off at all. That shit sucks to be wheelchair-bound for 30 years. It's not even wheelchair-bound like you're paralyzed. It's wheelchair-bound like you're a vegetable. You can't move your body type shit.
Yeah, and you also have to think at one point he did have control of his body. At one point he did and could smash, and then just eventually became a vegetable. He became more like a potato at the end of his life than a man, sadly.
If you guys look up the Stephen Hawking translator before Stephen Hawking got the computer where he can just look and it just makes all the words for him by just him looking at it. Before he got that shit, he had a translator that he would just go, and the translator would be like, he's actually saying a quite complex theory here on the theory of evolution. And then it's so crazy to watch those videos and think that the population actually believed that this translator could hear his mumbles and get full sentences out of it. It's wild if you guys have not seen this video.
I've been shown this video by Dylan. I'm not 100% sure on the Stephen Hawking being a fake. I can't say that. The poor guy was a wheelchair-bound vegetable, and he did have a sick computer. That's all I can say. Those are the only facts I know about this case.
Back to depopulation, I think that the social credit score will also be a big part of that, because if you don't comply, depopulation makes it easier to stop people that don't comply, because whenever these groups try to rise up, there will be less people that are trying to rise up against the machine, against the leaders, and it'll be easier to silence these small groups.
The only people that'll be left have their brains washed by fluoride, and they're just sitting next to 5G towers all day on their phones, getting the blue light treatment.
And they need to have their social credit score in order to access the World Wide Web, the most important thing ever in our generation, or to access the augmented reality or virtual reality. It's weird that they call it virtual reality even though it's not reality. They try to sell you it as real reality.
What is reality? What is reality, Dylan? The pixels on that screen are just as real as you are.
I don't believe so. I think I'm more real.
You do have a soul.
I think I am baseline reality. I'm going to bet on that. Like, I can't say 100% sure, obviously.
He's in baseline reality.
I believe I'm in baseline reality, because if you don't believe you're in baseline reality, then you're what are you?
He's up shit creek.
That's not a fun way to look at life.
I don't know, man. Depends on who you ask, I guess.
I mean, then it could give you less fear, I guess, to say that you're not in baseline reality, because then none of it matters.
I ascribe to Ike, where he says that whenever you die, it's like clicking the channel button on the remote. It's just like changing channels, man. Just like changing channels.
We all could be one giant consciousness. We're all just one consciousness, and every time we die, we just go into the next body.
You're the conscious energy filling the meat suit.
What if
every creature it might have a little bit less, or even as small as an ant, or as big as a pup or a dolphin, but we all got that little spark in us.
What if each planet that has life is its own god? Like, what if we are God, we are the Earth? What if the Earth is a living being that self-regulates itself? As you see life form over time, and then volcanoes happen, devastation happen, and then we rebuild from the ashes. Life always forms, and life continues to grow. What if we are just the living Earth?
You got me there, big dog.
I'm ready to talk about the big stuff on depopulation.
Ready to talk about the big kahuna. This whole time we've been jerking it, but we're ready to go.
We're just sitting here with our dicks in our hands. We weren't ready to get into the meat and potatoes, but here we are.
We were just waiting at the YouTube AI censorship robot, the Terminator.
Yeah, if we could just actually say what we want on YouTube, that would be so clutch. I wish that if you guys are listening right now, you guys could just chill and not delete our videos. And AI robot, I fully agree that the V word is cool, that the C word actually happened.
Okay, will you stop being facetious? Take it easy. It'll understand it. It knows what you're trying to say, Dylan. Knows you're trying to take the piss.
Do they understand sarcasm? Does the AI algorithm actually understand sarcasm?
The Terminator, the Skynet.
This doesn't have to do with depopulation, but it did make me very sad to think about this. I think that my son's growing up in a great life, and I think that like life is fire with its beauty. But with this new technology and this just already what he's experiencing on YouTube, just the couple of YouTube videos we show him, he's already getting his brain fried with dopamine from that shit. And then it's only going to get worse with these hyper-realistic video games. Whenever me and my brothers were playing Halo back in the day, or Minecraft, we had such shitty graphics, but at the time, I couldn't comprehend how fun that shit was and how realistic that shit looked. But that is nothing compared to today. How much dopamine he's going to get at
We all love blue light.
Such a young age. He has so many psyops and so many things that are going to fry his dopamine receptors. And also with the upcoming AI stuff, there's just scrolling Instagram Reels. How many of you have come across just some crazy ass AI scary stuff that is? I had nightmares over ghosts till I was damn near 12. 13, I believed in ghosts. I was scared about ghosts. I was scared of the dark for I don't know how long. And imagine what these kids that are getting iPads and iPhones at 8 years old, whenever they're scrolling Instagram Reels and seeing the craziest, scariest shit they've ever seen on Instagram. Imagine how much nightmares they're going to have, and imagine how much it's going to scar them. This life that we're building for these kids is scary, how much they're getting fried.
It's a new generation. It's a new way of looking at things, Dylan. They're going to have to embrace it. There's only one way forward. You think that's bad? Wait until you get into the public school system.
At least we live in a cool state, and if I lived in California or New York and I knew how bad their public school systems are, like, they're raising kids to be gay and trans. They're raising kids to...
They're bringing in drag shows for reading time.
That sounds kind of like conservative nonsense, but they are straight up raising kids to be trans. They are...
Nobody has a problem with drag shows. Nobody has a problem with gay people. But I do have a problem with parading them around and having them read to little kids. Let's just take it easy. Can we not just have the librarian read books to them? I think that would be okay. That would make the most sense to me if the librarian was reading the books. I don't know.
It's not just the drag queens reading the books to the kids. It's the whole public school agenda that they're feeding them. They're not just making it accepting to be gay or accepting to be trans. They're actually pushing them to be that, saying it's actually better. This sounds crazy, but they are pushing some, obviously not all, but there's just small percentages of these states that are pushing kids to say it's actually cooler to do that and cooler to transition and cooler to do these things instead of just accepting kids for who they are because of their own fucked up mental health shit they have going on. And obviously bad apples get involved in the public school system, but it just seems to be happening more and more in these leftist states.
Don't bring up the mental health part of it, please.
Why you say that?
You know.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
We can't even get into it. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you about this later.
And I guess getting back to the depopulation. What's most important about this agenda is you can already see it happening now with the surveillance state that's being put up all around you. You really think that they're going to decrease the amount of cameras that they have on you? That you think they're going to decrease the AI? Just last night, I couldn't log into my Robinhood app. My shit that I have my stocks on, my retirement account on. Couldn't log into it. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I need to do? I needed to verify my identity by showing them my driver's license, and then I had to do a facial recognition scan.
They need your biometrics. They need your biometrics.
Not just my driver's license. That's not good enough to prove my identity. The verifiable thing that we've always had in the past. They also need me to scan my face. They won't let me log in where I have my retirement account into. They won't let me log in without scanning my face into the app.
I'm very surprised you have your shit in Robinhood, of all places, after what they did with the AMC not letting people buy and sell stocks. You remember what I'm talking about?
I think it's very fucked up what Robinhood did, and I don't like what they do, but I'm just trying to make the most money I can with the little amount I have. And other platforms are not allowing me to trade and buy stuff without paying a fee, and they're also giving a good percentage on your uninvested cash. So, they're the best bang for the buck out of the trading platforms I've seen out there, but I hate their company as far as their morals. They have no morals at all. They only care about the big...
They would debank you at a fucking...
Oh my god, dude! They do not care about the little guy at all. They showed during all that GameStop shit that they're friends with the big bankers. They're the big bankers that were losing money during that time. There's a reason that they stopped you from being able to trade on it, is because they're boys with the fucking people who were losing all the money.
Everybody was melting down. We can't be losing all of this.
It's just like the casino is set up for you to lose. This life is set up for you to lose in all these ways. All these big bankers, literally the money that you're getting paid with comes out of nowhere. Whenever it's created, it's
backed by nothing.
It literally comes out of nowhere. It's backed by nothing. Whenever the first money is created, it's loaned to you by the bank. You have to pay that money back. with interest. It just came out of nowhere. That interest also came out of nowhere. Like, the entire...
They're laughing at you while they're printing it. They're laughing at you.
You just keep paying more and more interest on something that actually has no value. It's crazy how long this has lasted. And the money keeps increasing. Bitcoin keeps going up. The S&P 500 keeps going up. These companies keep getting more and more money. It's crazy how bought in everyone is.
That's why you need to take life by the balls, folks. You need to get bought in. You need to take these motherfuckers down. You need to get in the rat race. Get after it. No more living life in the shadows.
If you've thought about starting your own business and you have just not had the balls to do it, what better time to start than whenever everything's falling apart? Whenever money is going to be worthless in 10 years, why not start something that you can get gold and silver for? You can start a lawn mowing business and get gold and silver for it in 10 years whenever everything falls apart. People still are going to want their lawns mowed looking nice.
When everything is gone, there's nothing left to lose.
We can see the facial recognition in the surveillance state, just like we can see the flow of information being controlled by these big corporations. Google should not be able to control the flow of information. They have the biggest platform in the world for sharing information, and whenever the top results are just not at all what you actually want whenever you look something up, because they're controlling the flow of information. And we should have free speech on these platforms, because we don't go to libraries anymore. All of our information comes from these. These should be public domain. We should be able to say whatever we want, like how Twitter is. But now Twitter, I guess, isn't even free speech anymore, because Elon's losing his shit. And it's probably just... He's literally hypocritically doing the things that he said he was going to stop whenever he bought it. I don't want to start ranting about Elon again, but they're controlling... If they have control over the flow of information, you can see it happening now. Just like the surveillance state's going to get worse, that is only going to get worse. And whenever you can't say, I'm trying to tell my kid what happened during 9/11, I'm trying to tell him
Whoa!
what happened and how these towers went down. He's going to say, no, Dad, my teacher told me that 2 towers went down and they got hit by the plane. And I'm going to say, well, they kind of just caved in on themselves, and it looked exactly like a controlled demolition. And actually, son...
Then you're going to get up in his face and ask him what happened to Tower 7.
Then I'm going to tell him that it actually wasn't 2 towers, and I'm going to say it was 3 towers, and each one of them all caved in on themselves. But if I can't prove to him...
You can see the thermite sparks on the side of the building. Did you know that?
If I can't show him the Loose Change documentary whenever he's 6 years old and scar him for the rest of his life, if I can't show him these things...
If I can't shatter his faith in his federal government totally and utterly by the time he's 6 or 7, then I've failed as a father.
But if I can't access these things, these documentaries, these memes, if they control the flow of information that much, which is not unrealistic. You think it's unrealistic now because they haven't yet, but if they continue to take more and more, it eventually leads to where they control it completely.
The truth is, folks, we don't even need to talk about depopulation. If you open your eyes, you can see it all around you. It's the pesticide in your food. It's the fluoride in your water. It's the 5G in your air.
It's every conspiracy leading up to this point has been a depopulation conspiracy. The one world government cannot exist without decreasing the population. That's why
they need to make you stupider.
That's why you see so much.
You need TikTok.
You see so much around you that's harming you, or is a psyop, or is causing you distress. It's because they need you in a state of distress. They need you to barely be able to survive in this society, so you don't rise up with your boys.
You need an attention span like a squirrel. You can't organize.
You can't take in an hour of people talking on Going Postal about conspiracy theories, because you scroll onto a YouTube short.
You can't make it to the end and get to the real gold.
You scroll onto a YouTube short in the first 10 minutes. If you're actually listening now, you're Chad. You're cool as fuck. You've listened the whole time.
We're going to have an AI chop this up and distribute it in clips and send it throughout the interwebs. We're making our own Terminator, the Going Postal Skynet.
You got to get on ChatGPT. I know it's the mark of the beast, maybe, but you should probably start using ChatGPT. It's actually it helps me organize my thoughts very well. I can just I can bullshit my thoughts. Okay, What's actually bad, though.
Fuck that shit.
What's bad, though, about ChatGPT is the Tesla Cybertruck dude, the one that blew up his Cybertruck. The FBI pulled his ChatGPT logs. So everything I'm saying on a ChatGPT is logged and is going to be used by the FBI one day against me.
That's good. It helps me organize my thoughts, he says.
Maybe I should have. Maybe this is a sign from God. Maybe
Fuck ChatGPT.
That sign. Maybe this is a sign from
All
God.
the fucking AI artwork you've also chose, I could fucking fuck that.
I cannot make any art at all. I have no idea how to make that shit.
Fuck that frog. Do you remember the frog that was
That
like
frog
a gigabyte?
was gay as hell.
That frog was like a gigabyte upload.
That frog was the biggest gigabyte upload we've ever had. So if you guys see that frog, no, I think that might have been the cancer cure. I shouldn't even have said that. The cure for the disease that's killing a bunch of people. That was that video, and they definitely deleted that from YouTube. But we didn't say anything crazy in this one, so I don't think this one's gonna get deleted.
No, I mean, you say that, but we're on thin ice around here. We've been good boys the past couple episodes.
If we could actually say what we wanted to say and just like have a full, just I don't even know, unfiltered stream of consciousness, that would be so chill. But YouTube is so gay.
Take it easy. YouTube, thank you for giving us the privilege to stream on your platform. You make it incredibly easy to connect with millions of people. Going Postal, thank you guys, and have a good night.